Hello, I'm Mike. I'm an ex Hells Angel member. I was a member and started the Fresno charter, and I transferred to Santa Barbara to start them up. And then I transferred back to Fresno, and that's where I left in 2011. I'm chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Mike Lynch.
But the way we had it arranged on the West Coast is I was the West Coast financial officer, and so what I'd done is say, for instance, when Charlie did, when he was had the food, and he was in charge of everything that went with the food department. So he'd call me and say, hey, I need an ice truck. I need a refrigerator truck. I need this. I need that, and whatever he needed, I'd call ahead. We'd put everything on our company credit cards to say, hey, look, we want this. We want it there. We want it delivered at this run site at this time. And if we took care of all that before we got there, there was no cluster. You know what I mean?
Things run smooth.
Oh, I mean, I was there long enough to where not on my watch or not, and I bumped heads with a few people. Then I learned, okay, because we need to do, the shuttle vans. We got some guys with the wives and whatever. So rather than ride the bike, we give them rides to the party and back, the bars, whatever, dinner. And so we had to have a couple of those. We had to have, 100 hotel rooms. And me trying to go out there, and I'd fly out there, then trying to explain to them that I'm having a family reunion. And then finally I just quit lying. I said, hey, look, this is who's coming. This is when I need to talk to, get the police chief, get whoever you got a good. The only one that wouldn't talk to us really is the feds. Local would listen to you, but you knew all the time they were like, yeah, give us a chance.
Yeah, let us know you're coming. We're gonna be there, right?
It's better that way to let the townspeople know. I go to the bars. I would explain to them, hey, we're gonna be here for 5 days. Here's my phone number. If you have a problem that you don't think you can handle, call me. I tell law enforcement to say, well, I have no secrets to hide from you. This is my job, is to watch over this. And if somebody needs to be bailed, I bail them. If we need supplies, we get supplies. It doesn't matter what it is. Things got to be covered immediately. So there's no hesitance in the party, no stopping of food or bar or anything. Our things are 24/7 until we leave. So if you want to come in after you've been riding, it's 3 a.m, go to our kitchen, have you a nice breakfast, whatever you want.
That's only for members, though.
Well, and their guest. If you brought a guest and like your wife or your kids or whatever, they were also taken care of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you didn't have to go into town to go try to fuck around with the cops at 3 a.m, because that's not the best time for us to be out there, in several different ways, So we just said, hey, look, our kitchen, our bar, our everything is 24/7. I don't care what you want. You're taken care of.
Now, is there times that you would call ahead and things would be okay, and then the cops would harass you guys?
Well, you know how they are.
Of course.
We're not best friends. We're not kissing cousins. But what I like to do is I start with the powers that be. I don't want to talk to the grocery clerk. I want to talk to the manager of the Walmart. I said, look, I'm coming in here and I'm buying $15,000 worth of groceries. I want it all palletized. I want it all wrapped up. I want dry goods and refrigerated goods separate. So when you deliver it to, say, Pee Wee's Kitchen, all those things were ready to go. the refrigerator trailer was there, you know, the ice is there for the bar, whatever it is, it's on. And then all I got to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, we need another pallet of that ice, deliver it to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Done. You know, they took the credit cards, they ran them. And then once they did, they came, oh, anything you want. They gave me, they would give me shoppers. You know, they'd have two people with me, write down everything. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And they would deliver it to the run site, unload it, and bang. And it was already on the credit card. No cash involved, no bullshit.
Yeah.
And when I took over the money situation, I cut out the cash.
Why did it used to be cash?
It was for a long time. And the problem was that members would get pulled over in a traffic stop and then would confiscate it. And then they would try to make a case, you know, it's dirty money or whatever, right? But no matter what, it would take us months worth of court bullshit to get it back. And then out of when we got the money back, they confiscated, you know, 10% of it just because.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they thought we were the enemy and we consider them the enemy. And that's how I feel. Law enforcement has done so many dirty things to too many dirty, you know, to members of this club. I mean, dirty, you know, and they don't give a, you know.
Is there anything that you can talk about that they have done to the club?
Well, I mean, okay, usually it's doing, you know, like say they wanted, I got raided. When they came to my house, they did not find what they wanted. They got something, but it was, you know, basically whatever. But what they were looking for was two different things. Well, the guys got mad. They pissed all over I had a downstairs bedroom and bathroom. They went in there and pissed and all, you know, the bathroom, the carpet, everywhere. They knocked holes in the walls. They wrecked it, right?
They pissed in your house?
Okay. And then same with the first one that I remember was Mark Papa out of Fresno got raided, and they went in and they pissed on his kid's bed, you know, and that's their little fuck you. And in my book, well, I guess we're just going to start playing ugly, you know. Guys, don't forget that when it's your baby, your house, your home, your motorcycle, and they're doing all, you know, pushing it over, doing this, doing that, you know, confiscating shit. I mean, they're dirty. They're about as dirty as an organization that I've ever run into. You know, if they want to make things happen, done deal. And, you know, their little code that they have, their blue silence or their, you know, whatever, they're all lying motherfuckers, and we all know it, you know. So that's why we prefer not to talk to them unless it's a business-like situation like that. But the chit-chat, got nothing to say to you.
Yeah, that's one thing. They say that Hells Angels never talk to the police, but obviously if you guys are doing parties and you have to go to these different towns, well, you kind of have to sometimes, right?
Okay, well, and I made it very obvious that I did that. And some people went, what? And I said, check it out. You know, I'm trying to prevent something in the future here. I mean, we're trying to pull it off. We're going here. We're traveling 1,000, 1,500 miles. We're going to have a good time. The last thing we need to do is deal with some deputy dog that wants to make his bones off of one of us. Oh, yeah, I got that. I used to see him in the gym all the time. Yeah, I got them. Them mother, you know, they ain't, you know what I mean? It's a little feather up here, you know, it makes their another inch longer, you know, I guess. I don't know, you know, but by talking to them, I learned that from some of the older charters. They've been there so long. That's exactly what they did. They didn't ask them. You got told. We're doing this. We're going to be this to this. We're going to be over here, blah, blah, blah. We're taking care of our own. and we'll be gone at whatever time approximately. So they're very much aware of what's going on. And if they pop in, somebody's going to meet them and reiterate our agreement.
But the feds are a different story, right?
I mean, there's no getting over them. Them guys, they're super freaky. You know, they show up in half a dozen black helicopters parked at the elementary school, and you know, everything that, you know, it's not like you can't see them. There's 400 black cars with black windows in our run site or around our run site. So we're like going, gee, I wonder if he's law enforcement. You know, some guys, I don't say 100% of them are no good, but I've met very few that were honest in what they were doing.
What about people trying to infiltrate the club? Have you seen that in your time?